Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This video is about the obvious fact that I'm Christ. Now, how do we know that I'm Christ and not some Jewish person? Well, you know them by their fruit. And we're talking about a royal lineage, right? The root and offspring of David, which takes us to 1 Kings 2. David's charge to Solomon. When the time grew near for David to die, he gave a charge to Solomon, his son. I am about to go the way of all the earth, he said. So be strong, act like a man. So he's telling him to be spiritually strong, mentally strong, right? And to act like a man. He's not telling him to go to the gym and work out, so to speak. He's telling him to be spiritually strong. Warrior strong, act like a man. And observe what the Lord your God requires. Walk in obedience to him and keep his decrees and commands, his laws and regulations as written in the law of Moses. Now again, he's referring to the essence of the law, because the Bible, especially the Old Testament, goes on and on about people paying mere lip service, like Isaiah said, right? And not really obeying God with all their heart. The reason why the law is made the way it is it's highly symbolic, right? So when people sacrifice an animal, right, it's symbolic of certain ideas they have to do with being righteous and just and obeying God. Do this so that you may prosper in all that you do and wherever you go. So now I would ask you, David's victory over Goliath, was it from God or was it from man? Okay, so did he prosper? Did he prospar and then apply it with transferable skills in combat? Which is unnecessary if you know that someone is David already or someone is Christ already. And whose son is the Messiah? That's a section in the New Testament. You know, he's God's son, not David's son. He's David's son in a sense, but he's God's son. And of course, Christ is a character in the New Testament, wasn't from the patriarchal lineage of David. Okay, God was his father, not a Jew who traced his patriarchal lineage to David. And the matriarchal lineage was already addressed when God punished Aaron and Miriam for complaining to Moses about his Cushite wife. So it's been established that the Messiah doesn't have to have a male patriarchal line from the Jews, okay, and he doesn't have to have a female patriarchal line from the Jews, okay, and that is even if you believe that they kept the covenant, which is outrageous. So let's go to the next verse. And that the Lord may keep his promise to me. Now, what was the promise? Was the promise that they have a covenant no matter what? That no matter what, a Gentile won't rule, and so on and so forth? No. The promise goes like this. It should be on the screen. If your descendants watch how they live, and if they walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul, you will never fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel. Now, when I explain this, right, because I look at the Bible with a kind of holistic approach. I don't kind of cherry pick scriptures. I look at the sum total message. When I explain this idea right here, I rarely ever zoom in on 1 Kings 2. I rarely ever hone in on 1 Kings 2:4. But I hone in on the idea, right? What is the key part of this? If they walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul. So again, if your descendants watch how they live, right? Deeds, actions, fruits, watch how they live. And if they walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul, you will never fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel. Now, keep in mind that Christ's disciples, right, when he gets captured, they all flee. And Peter denies him and so on and so forth. So they were not worthy. Okay? This is why Christ is a character in the story, says, the kingdom of heaven will be taken away from you and given to a people who will produce its fruit. It goes back to 1 Kings 2:4, the root and offspring of David. What was David saying on behalf of God? He said, and that the Lord may keep his promise to me, if your descendants watch how they live, if your descendants watch how they live, and if they walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul, you will never fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel. So now let's look at this thing here. Do we see Jews emerging as potent warrior leaders? In Israel, no. In New York, no. Brazil, no. California, no. Germany, England, no. We don't see them anywhere on this planet. right? Are they trying to put a lamp on his stand and emerge as the top martial artist? No. So they're not bearing the fruit of God, right? The Lord is the warrior, Exodus 15:3. A heavenly warrior defeats the beast, the root and offspring of David, David versus Goliath. So therefore, if you believe in the Bible, you must believe that I'm the Messiah. Because I'm the one who's watching how I live. I'm the one who's walking faithfully before God with all my heart and soul. I'm the one who's persecuted for righteousness' sake. I'm the one who's the successor to whoever was the kings before me. And since I'm the top martial artist ever possible, in more than one sense, I'm the King of Kings. I'm the king of the angels, who are kings in their own right? The angel of death is the king of death. The angel of, truth is the king of truth, and so on and so forth. But I'm the King of Kings. And God Almighty is the Father. I'm the one he's appointed to lead, while he is the source of my power. And my power transcends my brain and body. So if they fume and poison me, that doesn't change the fact that I'm Christ. On a cross with a crown of thorns, I'm Christ. When I'm asleep at night and I'm worn out, I'm Christ. When I wake up in the morning refreshed, I'm Christ. When a female who's not smart enough to obey God through me rejects me, I'm Christ. If they don't reject me, I'm Christ. If a bunch of arrogant social norm fanatics, admit that I'm Christ, I'm Christ. If they don't admit that I'm Christ, I'm still Christ. I rest my case.